Quick, like snap your finger. It was about 4 o'clock when it happened, and it's happened all at once.
Severe thunderstorms ripped across Kentucky on Tuesday, leaving a trail of damage in their path. Residents of Bath County are now grappling with the aftermath, with trees destroying homes, cars, and blocking roadways. One resident, Michael Tyler Orm, ran out in the storm to try and save his car, but unfortunately, it was too late.
I ran out to move the car so the tree wouldn't fall on it, but the lightning struck too fast, and I had to stop, turn around. By that time, the tree fell. Luckily, it didn't fall on me, but I ran back into the house before it did.
Not only was Michael's car totaled, his pregnant wife was stuck a few miles up the road in traffic behind storm debris, trying to get home to safety.
I was scared and worried that something would happen to him about the way the trees were falling on the road and stuff, and I just worried they was going to be home safe.
The storm reports associate the destruction with thunderstorm winds, and its effects are seen all throughout the county. Some have already hired help to clean the damage.
A lot of people don't think that a tree this close to your house would ever have any problems until it happens. When something like that happens, there's nothing you can do to avoid it but contact somebody who knows how to handle it. So
the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has crews out working to clear the roads, hopefully before more storms hit the region. For now, all folks can do is start to pick up the pieces.
I want to try and do some cleanup because it's hard to maneuver around here with all these tree limbs and stuff being in the yard.
In Bath County, Alexa Minton, WKYT.